At first, he thought it was just timing, a coincidence, the kind that happens in older buildings where the elevators move slowly and the buttons are unpredictable, where a neighbor might press the call button a second before he turns the corner, and the elevator, already on its way, arrives just as he steps into view. But after the third time, and then the fifth, and then the seventh, when the elevator doors slid open before he ever reached for the button, he began to hesitate, not for long, just a beat, just enough to notice the shift in his own rhythm, that slight pause before stepping in, that momentary scan of the empty cabin, that rising awareness that he had not summoned it, and yet it opened for him anyway. There was never anyone inside. Not once. No footsteps echoing away down the hallway, no residual warmth in the air, no closing door down the corridor that might suggest another passenger had just exited. Only the elevator, open and waiting, quiet and perfectly still, its soft overhead light casting no shadow, its metallic walls reflecting only him, just him, as he stepped inside without knowing why he felt watched when no one was there. He tried brushing it off. Older buildings do strange things. Circuits wear out. The elevator might be responding to something, some automatic cycle or malfunction. But the thing that bothered him, the thing he couldn't explain, was that it never opened too early or too late. It opened the second he approached, as if it knew he was coming before even he did, as if it sensed him not from the hallway, but from the thought, from the moment the idea to descend had taken shape in his mind. Eventually, he tested it, staying in his apartment longer than necessary, delaying his departure without reason, changing the time of day he left, even faking a walk toward the elevator before turning back suddenly to see if the doors would still open. They always did. Without fail. Without hesitation. Without cause. And every time he stepped inside, the ride was smooth, silent, ordinary, except for the feeling, faint and ever-present, that someone had opened the door for him, and then simply left. He no longer believed the elevator was responding to a system, not in the ordinary sense. Whatever governed its motion, whatever mechanism triggered its arrival, it wasn't based on buttons or sensors or external commands, but something quieter, something beneath routine, something that knew not only when he approached but when he intended to approach. And though he still pressed the call button out of habit, out of ritual, he knew the act was meaningless. The elevator would already be there. Open, waiting, as if it had been open for some time, not because it needed to be, but because it always had been, as though it was never close to him in the first place. He began noticing other details, small, unchanging things that didn't belong to the logic of machinery. The way the cabin's interior temperature was never cold, never warm, always a degree too still. The way the lights hummed at a pitch that wasn't audible so much as present in the bones, like the sound had settled into the air rather than passed through it. The way the mirrors along the walls reflected him correctly, but with a clarity that felt too exact, like a memory of him had been stored in the glass, and was now being retrieved with perfect recall each time he stepped inside.